Welcome, everyone, to Full Count, SportsMemo's MLB betting coverage show. Coming to you live every weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be covering baseball with some of the best handicappers, analysts, columnists, and sports bettors on the planet. We're going to be giving out free picks on several games for today's card and plenty of time for you to get down on them. I'm your host, world champion handicapper, Las Vegas' biggest daily sports bettor, Joe D'Amico. And joining me today, I am very excited about this, perennial leaderboard fixture, Jesse Schule, and our newest addition to the handicappers end of Sports Memo, Eric Pauly. Welcome, guys. Happy Friday to you.
TGIF.
Happy Friday, everybody.
It is a great show when I get to share the panel with two great people, two great cappers, two people I really enjoy working with, and two of my friends, honestly, out there. They say if you find something you love to do, you never work a day in your life. Don't tell the people at Sports Memo, guys, but I do this for nothing. Keep that between us. Guys, I'm very excited over a few things. First of all, I don't know if you guys know this, but Jesse and I have a little friendly bet going. Last week I brought up on Friday, and I figure it's Friday again. Let's maybe just touch base. Jesse's a Blue Jays fan. I'm a Yankees fan. And Jesse and I have a bet that whoever is the top of the other in the American League East come the end of the season, the other guy has got to buy Jesse or myself has to buy the other guy a steak dinner. And Jesse, I have the sports page here, our Las Vegas Review Journal sports page. I didn't get a chance to look at it today. Let me just see how we sit. American League Yankees. Wow, they're the first team up there. 23-8, first place. The Blue Jays must be in second. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Hold on. They're in third. Wow. The only teams below the Blue Jays are the Orioles and the Red Sox, who together couldn't beat a Pop Warner team. My God, Jesse. Listen, I just want you to know, I won't eat for 3 days before you take me for that steak dinner. I'm just having some fun with Jesse, guys. There's a lot of baseball to go. We're having a lot of fun with the show. But honestly, Jesse, the American League East is one of the most competitive divisions in all of baseball. It's like that every season. I don't expect the Yankees to – I do expect them to be a top team at the end of the season, but I don't expect them to keep their stranglehold on first place for the next several months. You want to say anything about that just before we go on?
I think you hit the nail on the head. There's going to be more drama upcoming in the AL East, so it's early yet, but enjoy it while you can.
You know, it is a lot of fun. As I did look at the standings today, which, by the way, in the American League, Yankees are ahead. I don't know if I mentioned that. And when I did look at the standings, guys, there's quite a few teams that in the preseason, we, guys like us, prognosticators felt would be atop their divisions. And, wow, wouldn't you know it, with 30 games under our belts, give or take, a lot of these teams are already in first place and taking a good footing in first place. It's amazing how some of these teams have jumped out. You got Houston, who's really playing really great baseball right now. I believe they've won 10 in a row. You got the Twins. All right, fine, they lost 3 in a row, but they still got a nice little lead over there in the Central. You go over to the National League, Jesse. You and I talk about the National League East quite often. The Mets are really playing some decent ball. Eric, you and I have talked about how, New York usually has a nice pitching staff over the last few years, but their hitting is starting to heat up a little bit because it's the reason why they probably don't have a pennant the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying?
Certainly. They couldn't produce with runners in scoring position. They're doing that this year. It's all the difference.
And the two best teams in the NL Central are just playing as good as can be, Milwaukee and St. Louis. And then you got the Dodgers, who aren't surprising anybody right now, leading there in the West. But it's so far in this baseball season, I read a column last night that, how bad the hitting's been, but I think the hitting's been picking up a little bit lately. We're seeing the home run hitters hit home runs now. After the first few weeks of the season, Jesse, we saw what? We saw a lot of strikeouts. The pitchers seem to be ahead of the hitters. Seems to be evening out a little bit the last few weeks. We're seeing a lot more home runs. There's still a lot of strikeouts. I'll give the pitchers that, but it's going to make for one hell of a baseball season. Having said that, sports fans, we got 1 or 2 quick announcements. Friday the 13th might be unlucky to some, but not to the folks over at Sports Memo. They love you guys. They love to show their customer appreciation. They're offering a nice discount for today through midnight. $13 off a 3-day pass. Use code FRI13. Guys, that's good until midnight. Use that for Jesse. Use it for Eric or myself, Joey D. We have 3 roundtable games we're going to be covering. Jesse and Eric will be giving out their opinions on each, and then we're going to go into our best bet segment. So without any further ado, our first roundtable games, guys. We got Padres at Braves. Atlanta's minus $1.60, 7 over minus $1.20. Let's go to the body himself, one of my favorite people on the planet, Jesse Schule. Jesse, take it away.
Well, the Padres are 20-12, just a game back of the Dodgers in the NL West, and they send Yu Darvish to the mound. Darvish is 3-1 with a 4.05 ERA. That ERA is actually a little skewed. The Friars have won 4 straight in his last 4 starts, and he's been great in all 4 of those games. Prior to that, he had one really ugly outing that inflated his ERA. First glance, I'm looking at the Friars as a big underdog here, thinking, geez, value on the Padres. But then you look at who's going for the Braves, and you got Fried. Max Fried has been dealing lately. He's allowed just 4 runs in his last 4 starts. And San Diego's lineup is batting a combined .071, just 38 at-bats, so it's a bit of a small sample size against Fried. So now I'm leaning towards the under in this game with both these pitchers pitching incredibly well in their recent starts. The under is 7-2 in the last 9 in Atlanta, 4-1 in the last 5 head-to-head between these two teams. So we're looking at under 7.
Jesse Schule, the body himself, a perennial leaderboard fixture on my SportsMemo, says there's a lean on the under. Very good analysis as usual, Jesse. Always entertaining, but always full of solid content. We appreciate that. Let's go to the newest kid on the block. He does look like he was in a boy band, Jesse, compared to me and you, I'll tell you that. Eric Pauly. Now, Eric, real quick, I do want to say congratulations. You're the newest addition to the handicappers end at SportsMemo. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. I have my own handicapper profile in SportsMemo, and part of my first day on the job, you could say, I put out a free play for actually this game, and it was on the Padres plus the 140.
All righty. Well, congratulations, welcome, and good luck on the handicappers end at SportsMemo. Good things are going to happen for you. And guys, follow Eric, man. He's a winner, but he's going to give you his take on this Padres-Braves game right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that again. So far this season, the Braves and the Padres have squared off 4 times, and the season series is split right down the middle, 2-2. Jesse made some great points regarding Yu Darvish. If you looked at his newspaper stats, as we like to say, you would be unimpressed with what he's doing so far this season. But if you have to take away that second start of the season where he got absolutely shelled, he's been really, really doing very well during those last 4 starts, and the Padres have won all of those games. So through 33.1 innings pitched so far, Darvish allowed just 15 runs on 26 hits with 10 walks. But again, that 15-run number is inflated because I think 8 of them came on his second start so far this season. I like the Padres on the money line plus the 140 because it's just simply value. You have a pitcher who's not much worse than the other side, which I'll speak on Max Fried in a second. And I think you have the overall better baseball team in the Padres. Getting plus 140, there's a lot of value there. But looking at Max Fried, which really makes this tough, like Jesse was saying, is the guy's really been electric over his last couple of starts. Through 6 this season, he's gone 37 innings, allowing 27 hits, 11 earned runs to just with 35 strikeouts and just 2 walks. That doesn't speak to the command this guy has. Those are numbers similar to Corbin Burns, who won the Cy Young last year for the Brewers. So we really got to keep a nice eye on Max Fried. Padres are 7th in the MLB in OPS against left-handed pitching, so it gives me some hope that maybe they could break that little slump that Jesse was mentioning earlier. But for this game, I have the free play on SportsMemo as well. I'm going with the Padres plus the 140. Eric,
our newest addition to the handicapping, and Eric Pauly says the Padres. Very nice breakdown, Eric. A lot of technical stats in there. We appreciate that. I know there's a lot of people out there that love those technical stats, and Jesse and I are certainly 2 people that really respect them. It's something we look at. Very good breakdown. So that is our first roundtable game. We've got 2 more before our best bet segment. Our next roundtable game, it's an interesting one, guys. Giants and Cardinals. San Francisco's currently minus $1.25. Total 7.5. Let's go to the body himself, Mr. Jesse Schule. Jesse.
Well, the Giants are 8-5 on the road. The Cardinals are 8-7 at home. So I guess it makes sense that the Giants come in as a favorite here. You got Logan Webb going for the Giants. He's 4-1 with a 3.82 ERA. The Giants are 5-1 in his last 6 starts. However, his last start was against St. Louis. He allowed 4 runs on 8 hits, striking out 7. in 5 innings. The Giants won that game by a score of 13-7. And if I had to guess, I would imagine the wind was blowing out in San Francisco that day. Therefore, we saw a high score, and Webb gave up a few hits and a few runs. You got Jordan Hicks going on the other side for St. Louis, 1-2 with a 3.78 ERA. He allowed 2 runs on 3 hits and 2 walks in 4 1/3 innings against the Giants in his last start. So you got 2 pitchers that have recently faced the opposing lineup, and that lineup is getting a second look in less than a week. I always lean over when that happens. Neither of these 2 pitchers are impressing me that much. Both teams are hitting the ball well lately. It's kind of a low number at 7.5, so I would lean towards the over here.
Jesse Schule has a lean towards the over. When Jesse leans, people listen, I'll tell you that. His leans are winners, guys. By the way, Jesse, you're doing some great work over at Sports Memo. This is a great time for you people out there to take advantage of this real great discount that Sports Memo is offering. 3 days package, $13 off. Use code FRI13. Go after the show. Use it for Jesse Schule. I want to go to the newest edition, the kid. We're going to call him the kid, Jesse, I think, from now on. Because compared to me and you, let's face it, he is a kid. Let's go to the kid, Eric Pauly. Eric, what's your take on this game, please?
Yeah, of course. So I really like a lot of what Jesse just outlined for this matchup. A lot of that analysis I put into my own personal analysis for this game. So it's always nice to be kind of reading the game the same way that Jesse is. I actually have a paid play on this game for my clients as part of a 3% package. I have 3 picks at 3% bundled into one. So I'm not going to divulge what that is exactly, what that pick is exactly, of course, Memo. But you got to look at the Giants. They're on a 5-game winning streak, and they'll travel to St. Louis, who's dropped 4 of their last 5 games, including a series loss to the lowly Orioles. Looking at the pitching matchup, you have Logan Webb versus Jordan Hicks. As Jesse mentioned, both of these pitchers faced this same team not too long ago, one of these last starts, so they're very familiar with each other. But what I think Webb is actually pitching a little bit better than advertised, again, by looking at the newspaper stats, we'd like to say. Through 6 starts so far this year, he's gone 35.1 innings, allowed 41 hits, which is a little bit too many for my liking, but only 15 runs. So he does a really good job of getting these base runners out, even when they are, threatening to score. He's let up only 3 or more runs in 4 of his 6 starts. So he is kind of having a little bit of a problem with, maintaining that run differential. With Jordan Hicks, he's on the road to recovery. He's coming back. He's thrown in 6 games this year, but will make his 5th start. He's made some relief appearances to get some work under his belt. The Cardinals are 2-2 in those 4 starts, and Hicks has gone 16.2 innings, allowing 7 runs, 10 hits, 10 walks, 18 strikeouts. The Giants as a team have a .381 slugging percentage, which is near the tops of the league. They're really hitting the ball well. The Cardinals seem to be trending downward. So, like I said, I'm not going to divulge my pick today. Maybe you got a little bit of where I'm leaning for that, but definitely check out my page on Sports Memo to pick up that 3% package and get my take on this game.
Sports fans, Eric Pauly giving you a teaser. By the way, that's how my wife got me to take her on a second date. She teased me a little bit. Way to go, Eric. That's some good stuff. Eric, you may not know this. We talked about a boy band. You may not know this. Jesse was actually in a boy band growing up. He was in the Funky Bunch. He was a backup dancer for Marky Mark. A lot of people don't know that. Good stuff, Eric, as usual. We love Eric's laughing. He doesn't even know who Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch are. That's some really good stuff. Great angles. And thank you. I didn't get really who you're leaning on that. You gave some good stuff for both sides. That was a good breakdown. I am looking forward to Jesse's breakdown of our 3rd roundtable game. Jesse, this is a big number here. It's 220 for the Dodgers, who are hosting the Phillies. We did have a pitching change as of just before the show started, if I'm not mistaken. The line didn't move that much. 220 and 8, the Dodgers. Jesse, they're playing some good ball. Tell me your take on this, please, buddy.
Well, I'm looking at the Dodgers. Of course, they're right where you expect them to be, 20-10, first place in the NL West. What caught my eye, though, is 20 wins for the Dodgers. Guess how many of those wins came by more than 1 run? By my count, it's all 20 of them. So for those of you kids that like to play run line favorites, the Dodgers are looking good these days. Philly is 5-5 straight up in the last 10 head-to-head meetings, though. But you got Kyle Gibson going for Philly, 3-1, 2.95 ERA, allowed 6 runs on 7 hits, 4 1/3 innings, losing to the Dodgers the last time he faced them. That was last year. You got Buehler going for the Dodgers. I mean, maybe that's a slight downgrade to Kershaw, the way Kershaw's been pitching, but Buehler's 4-1 with a 1.96 ERA. You know, I'd love to find a reason not to bet the Dodgers on the run line here. I mean, I'm not going to bet the Dodgers, but I'm not going to bet against them either. And for those of you who like to throw run line favorites out there, 20-10 and all 20 of those wins by 2 or more runs. Yeah, you might want to consider that. But one more nugget of information: Bryce Harper versus Bryce Harper versus Walker Buehler. 1-for-1 lifetime. That one hit was a home run. Also, he had 2 walks in there. So for those of you who play player props, you might look at Bryce Harper today.
Some nuggets of gold from the great and powerful odds. Jesse, letting you behind the curtain. Jesse, I would have lost that bet if you would have told me how much did the Dodgers win all 20 of their games by more than 1 run. I would have never thought that. That's great stuff from you, Jesse. I don't get stumped off, and when I do, I give credit where credit's due. That's some very good stuff. It's a great take on that game as well. It's hard to go against this Dodgers team. It really is. They're playing good ball. They seem to be playing well in their division right now as well, and that's, I know they're playing the NL East here, but they're playing well in their divisions. As long as they can stack up wins there, it's going to make it a lot easier for them down the road. Really good stuff, Jesse. I love it. Guys, use that discount right after the show. Buy Jesse. You're going to get him for a 3-day package, $13 off, FRI 13. The new kid on the block. I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to beat that one into the ground, buddy, today. Eric, can you tell us who you like in this game and why, please?
Keep it coming, Joe. I love being the new kid on the block. For this game, like Jesse mentioned, it's a little bit crazy. So Buehler's in for Kershaw. Kershaw's unfortunately going to the IL, just as fans of baseball like we all are, a fantastic pitcher like that, you never want to see him go down, especially injured. Again, like Jesse mentioned, not a big change in quality of starter. Obviously, Kershaw is fantastic over the course of his career. Buehler has been fantastic from the start of his career and ideally has a lot more years to go. So the line being minus 220 to me is a little bit ridiculous. So the Phillies are one of the better offenses in baseball. Of course, the Dodgers are one of the better offenses in baseball. I just don't see how this line could be minus 220. But like Jesse said, I also cannot be betting against the Dodgers at this point in time. So look at the Phillies offense. They're third in OPS and with a 736 OPS as a team. They're sixth in runs scored with 148, and they're second in total bases with 450. But on the flip side, look at the Dodgers. They're seventh in OPS with a 720. They're third in runs with a 156, and they're fifth in team RBIs with 142. The Phillies in sixth with 141. So on one hand, you have 2 of the best lineups in baseball. On the other hand, you have Walker Buehler, like Jesse mentioned, who's 4-1 on this season, who has a 1.06 whip as well. And then you have Kyle Gibson, who has a 1.07 whip, and a pitcher that has generally clean base pass as well. I have to lean no action for this game. Again, given minus 220 is way too crazy. You won't catch me, unfortunately, laying that kind of juice on any favorite in the MLB. But at the same time, is there some value on the Dodgers, on the Phillies? Yes. I just can't get a bet against the Dodgers right now. I'm going with no action. But if I had to place a wager, it would be a little sprinkle on the Phillies as a big dog.
Well, there he goes. Eric Pauly saying he might sprinkle a little something on the dog with action. What's your cutoff, Eric? What's the line? When you absolutely, it doesn't matter who's pitching against who, lineup against lineup. What's your cutoff?
I don't like to go over 160. 155, very rarely. 150, fine. If we're talking about a prop that I think is completely mispriced, like it's sitting at, say, 170, and I have it around my consultation from my quantitative analyst, if I have it at like 270 and it's sitting at 170, I will definitely take that bet. But on a straight money line game in a market like in the Major League Baseball, I'm not touching really anything over minus 155.
Jesse, what's your cutoff? So for everybody out there.
Well, if Mike Tyson was fighting Pauly Shore, what's your cutoff?
Well, I know both of them, and I'll tell you what. One makes me laugh more than the other. I think the other's a better fighter these days, but I can tell you this. My cutoff, it wouldn't matter. I still can't.
It wouldn't matter. If they're going to give you money.
No, I couldn't go above $1.40. I really don't, unless I had some inside info. But
unless it's an inefficient market like a prop, I would definitely lay some more juice. But on a side like that, the guys in Vegas know what they're doing when they're coming up with these lines. I would try to stay away from going over minus 155.
There you go.
I would give you 10-1 on Pauly Shore if you wanted to take him versus Mike Tyson.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I would take that. I know a few things about Mike lately. No, I'm just kidding. I do hang out with both of them every once in a while. Once in a while, I'm over at my buddy's house, Murray the Magician. Everybody knows Murray. He has these get-togethers late at night where you just walk in through the door. Pauly Shore will be there. Mike Tyson will be there. Some other headlines. Carrot Top will walk in. Some rockers, some actors, and it's fun stuff. But we had Mike and Pauly in the same room a while ago. Mike was actually funnier than Pauly. Sorry, Pauly, but he was. But Paulie's touring right now. He's in town doing some shows. He is a go-see, guys. So don't want to take away from Pauly. But it's funny how you mentioned those two guys. Jesse, it is the most exciting portion of the show where each one of us get to lay in on our best bets for the day. These are sometimes they are unrelated to our roundtable game. Sometimes they're not. They happen to coincide. But let's go with the one and only The Body. He is a perennial leaderboard fixture. Jesse Schule, tell us your best bet today, please.
Well, I'm going to look at the Kansas City Royals in Colorado. The Royals have been terrible this season. Colorado is coming off of a terrible road trip. They lost 5 of 6 on the road, but they're back home where they have an 11-5 overall record. They've won 5 of their last 6 home games, and you got a hot pitcher going for Colorado, Kyle Freeland. His stats aren't looking that awesome at 1-3 with a 3.94 ERA, but he's only allowed 1 run in his last 2 starts. The Rockies won both those games. You got a big name going on the other side, Zach Greinke, 0-2, so he's winless on the season. 2.67 ERA looks good at first glance, but Greinke is not the vintage Greinke he used to be. He's getting old. He's still crafty. He still finds a way to get himself out of trouble, but he's getting himself in trouble more often than he used to. He's given up 34 hits in 33 and 2/3 innings of work in total this season. Colorado leads the major leagues with a team batting average of 256. The Royals have lost 5 straight versus left-handed pitching. The Rockies have won 5 of their last 6 interleague games. The price 140 just looks like a fair price to back the home favorite.
Jesse Schule says, take the Rockies, minus the $140. Way to go, Jesse. Great analysis, great breakdown as usual. I agree with you about Greinke. I think his better days are behind him. Good stuff, man. Guys, you want to use those discounts for these 2 great cappers. Friday the 13th discount, $13 off 3-day package. Use code Friday13. Let's go to the man, the myth, the legend, the newest kid on the block, Eric Pauly. Eric, your best bet, please.
Yeah, so my best bet is going to be a game that we spoke about earlier. That's going to be the Padres versus the Atlanta Braves. I have the Padres at plus 150 as my value play of the day, as well as my best bet. Again, for my other picks, I have a 1%er out there and a 3-pack of 3%ers on SportsMemo that you guys could, go take a look at, make that purchase and go see that analysis there. But I think something that's really key for this game, and this is something that I, on my last appearance on this show, said when I had my best bet, is just the value of the play. The Padres are the better team than the Atlanta Braves right now, and you're getting them at plus 140. Yu Darvish, which I think is very important that Jesse mentioned earlier, his stats, his 4-point-something ERA is inflated just due to that second start. Look at the rest of his other starts this season, his other 6 starts. He's pitched very, very well, especially the last 4 games that he's pitched. Max Fried, it's very hard to ignore how good he's been because he's been, absolutely electric this season, kind of on that Cy Young pace, and has really found his stride because we know how good he was last year. I think the Padres have a little bit of bounce back. I don't expect a lot of runs in this game, but I do like the Padres as, a great value pick to win this game on the money line as underdogs.
Eric Pauly, guys, newest addition to the SportsMemo handicapping family. Guys, use those discounts. Go over to buy Eric. You got that great discount for Friday the 13th. He's a winner, man. You're gonna thank me tomorrow. You buy him today. I promise you that. Now I do have a best bet for everybody. Jesse, it's not on your account, but I'm going to have some fun here, buddy. Let me start by saying, first of all, sports fans, I had an internet outage this week. Vegas, we got hit with 75-mile-an-hour winds. My internet went out, but even an internet outage here in Vegas cannot stop me from bringing you winners. I will go 2-0 tonight. I have my coveted, my legendary MLB home run play. I have my NBA Celtics Bucks Game 6 winner. Both are available right now $7 a piece over at Sports Memo. Now let's go into my free play. Jesse, can you guess it? It's just on your account. Guys, don't look now, my friends, but the Yankees for another week still on the best overall record in baseball. Winners of 4 in a row and 16 of their last 18. The Bronx Bombers are piling up victories. It's no surprise once again this season their lineup is producing. They currently rank in the top 10 in every major offensive category. Surprising to many, though, it's been their pitching staff that ranks third overall in both leagues. Team ERA of 2.75 has earned them 23 victories in their 31 outings already this season. They took game 1 of this series yesterday 15-7. Let me repeat that, 15-7. That is their third consecutive win over the White Sox and 8 in the last 9 meetings. The White Sox are playing 500 ball, 15-15 overall. That includes 8-8 record at Guaranteed Rate Field. Their pitching has been mediocre at best. Their hitting has been absolutely downright deplorable. It's embarrassing. They average 3.63 runs per game. That is just ridiculous, guys. Opposing pitchers just aren't threatened, guys. They are not just even getting on base. They're not hitting home runs. They have no power. Opposing pitchers aren't threatened at all. They come in there with authority. Speaking of opposing pitchers, guess who's going today? Garrett Cole. He takes the hill 2-0 with a 0.47 just in his last 3 outings. The team has won his last 4 starts and 5 of his 6 overall turns this season. He is on fire. Vince Velasquez takes the mound at home. He's looked good in his last couple of starts, but let's face it, he faced an erratic Angels lineup and the non-existent Boston offense. Guys, nothing against the Angels or the Red Sox, guys, but the Angels, you don't know what lineup you're going to face one day to the next, and the Red Sox, let's just be honest, they're not hitting the ball at all. All right, Garrett Cole will contain the lackluster White Sox batters while the Yankees bats do the rest. By the way, guys, of those 8 wins in the last 9 meetings New York has over Chicago, only 2 have come by a single run. I'll take the Yankees on the run line for Jesse Schule, and for you, it's a winner, guys. Trust me, I like this game. Let's bring everybody back on. Jesse, Eric, it's been a great show. Before I run down a couple of quick announcements, Jesse, any closing thoughts or comments?
I guess I will comment on Eric's analysis on the Phillies Dodgers. I tend to agree with them that it does appear that there's value on the Phillies. However, when I looked in, I was trying to make a case to take the Phillies on the runs, but when I looked at those 20 wins by 2+ runs for the Dodgers, I had to backtrack on that.
There you go. Eric, any closing thoughts or comments?
Yeah, no, always appreciate, being able to be on with you, Jesse and Joe, and have these conversations and have a great time. Just my final closing thoughts are, sometimes if you don't love a game and you don't have a real side, you don't have to make the bet. There's always going to be another game, another day. So we have leans. We like to have insights. We like to give out the plays we actually know that we're putting our money on and we will think are going to actually hit. So it's okay to take a game off.
It's good advice. Jesse and I have talked quite a few times on this and other shows about, staying away. You don't have to bet every single game on the board. He may be young, sports fans, but his knowledge is vast. How about that? Eric, that's really good insight. And that's great advice to give people out there. You can't lose a game you don't bet on. You don't have to bet on every single darn game. If you're not in love with something, stay away. Odds are there'll be another game tomorrow you will love. So, sports fans, as we close out, be sure to tune in every weekday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, to this show, Full Count. SportsMemo's MLB betting coverage show coming to you live with special guests each and every day. And remember that discount, Friday the 13th. Might be unlucky to some, but not to the folks over at SportsMemo who are offering a nice discount, $13 off a 3-day pass. Use code FRI13. Let's get out of here. It's Friday, guys. Everyone out there, on behalf of my friend Jesse Schule and Eric Pauly and my great friends over at SportsMemo, this is Joe D'Amico. Good luck.